Hello students, welcome to mathematics class. Students, this is part 1 of the chapter Introduction to Graphs. In this part 1, we will be recollecting all the types of graphs that what we have learnt in our previous classes. Students, you are going to watch this part 1 on 30th January 2021. Now, coming to the introduction part, have you seen graphs in the newspapers or televisions or magazines or sometimes even in your own textbooks? Hope if you recollect those, the purpose of the graphs is to show numerical facts in visual form. Especially these graphs will help us to visualize the numerical facts so that they can be understood quickly and easily, clearly. So, graphs are mainly meant for representing numerical facts and which helps us in understanding quickly, easily and clearly. Thus, graphs are visual representation of numerical data that we collected. That is what we learned even in data handling chapter. Children, data can also be presented in the form of a table. However, a graphical presentation is easier to understand. This is true in particular when there is a comparison or a trend to be shown. We have already seen some types of graphs. Mainly, these helps us in understanding the data clearly, easily, quickly, along with the comparison also can be done. Now let us go for quickly recalling them here now. Data is represented graphically to give a clear idea of what it represents. Okay, first type of graph what we have learnt, a bar graph. Children, you know the definition of a bar graph and you know purpose of drawing a bar graph and you know how to draw the bar graph too. Okay, a display of information using bars of uniform width, where their heights being proportional to the respective values and with a uniform gap between them. Okay, that was a bar graph. Later, second graph what we have learnt was double bar graph. You know, a double bar graph is also a bar graph showing two sets of data simultaneously. It is useful comparing those data. Okay, those data of two sets can be compared easily when there is a double bar graph drawn. Then third graph what we have learnt was a circle graph or a pie chart we call it. A circle graph shows the relationship between a whole and its parts. Normally this pie graph is used to compare parts of a whole with its individual segments. Okay, I mean sectors, sorry, it's sectors. We draw it as a circle. Now coming to the another fourth important graph that what we have learnt was histogram. A histogram is a bar graph that shows data in intervals. So a bar graph that shows data in intervals. Normally group data can be represented using histogram. Histogram is also a type of a bar diagram only, where class intervals are shown on the horizontal axis and heights of the bars, the frequency. Heights of the bars show the frequency of those class intervals. Okay, children. So, in this histogram there won't be a gap. Okay, important. In histogram there won't be a gap between the bars. Okay, as there is no gap between the class intervals. Okay. Now, another fifth important graph that what we have learned will be a line graph. A line graph displays data that changes continuously over periods of time. You might have drawn distance time graph, speed time graph in physics. So, those are line graphs. Okay. Here I am going to give you some examples for each of them. Line graph, which is a whole unbroken line. Okay, which is also called linear graph. A line graph which is a whole unbroken line is called linear graph. Let us get into the visualization of these graphs, one example for each. Coming to the bar graph. This is a bar graph. Could you read this bar graph, children? Here, if you watch, marks in mathematics in various exams given. First term, someone has got 25, maybe of one person's. In the second term, that same person has got 30 marks. In third term, the same person has got 45 marks. You could read this and it represents marks of a one person in 3 different terms. So, this is a bar graph. You could see width of the bars is same and the gap between them is same. Now, coming to the double bar graph. This is a double bar graph. Could you read this double bar graph now, children? You can pause the screen before hearing my explanation and you can recollect what does it all speaks about. Okay, now here you could see double bar graph where sale of fruits on 2 different days, that is Monday, Tuesday. So, sale of fruits by a fruit vendor in kgs is given as a bar graph on 2 different days, Monday and Tuesday. Monday is darker, Tuesday little lighter, that bars are representing. So, normally double bar graph will have 2 sets of data, and to differentiate that we need to represent with the help of color. Okay, and specify what color meant of which set. Now, mangoes were sold on Monday 17.5 kg. When it comes to the mangoes on Tuesday were sold 22.5 kg. Now, similarly apples 7.5 kg were sold on Monday, but whereas 10 kg were sold on Tuesday. And here is the popular most fruit of that place, oranges. So, orange was sold on Monday 27.5 kg, whereas 35 kg on Tuesday. So, now you can read this graph. This is double bar graph. Now, moving further, children, a pie graph is used to compare parts of a whole, as I have already mentioned to you. The circle represents the whole. Let us see, the following is a pie graph. It shows the percentage of viewers watching different types of TV channels in a locality. In a locality, 50% entertainment channels were watched, 10% of informative channels were watched, 15% of news channels were watched, and 25% of sports channels were watched by that locality. Now, this is how we read pie graph. Let's moving to the another important graph called histogram. A histogram is a bar graph that shows the data in intervals. I have already mentioned to you. It has adjacent bars over the intervals. Now, the following histogram, here is the histogram, this is the histogram. The following histogram illustrates the distribution of weights of 40 persons of a locality. 40 persons of a locality weighing 40 kg to 65 kg, where 40 kg to 45 kg 4 people, 45 to 50 12 people, 50 to 55 13 people, 55 to 66 people, 60 to 65 kg 5 people. The same data which is in the table form is represented as histogram. You could see in histogram, weight is taken on horizontal axis, where this symbol represents 0 to 40. I am not showing, I have shrinked it, which we call as kink. This kink is meant for not showing 0 to 40, where I am starting from 40, 40, 45, 45 to 50. So, 2 units I have taken as 5 kg. That means 1 unit becomes 2.5 kg. Now, whereas on vertical axis I am taking number of persons, where this number of persons gives frequency, where 4 people lie between 40 to 45 kg, 12 are of 45 to 50 kg weight. So, 50 to 55, 13 members are there, and 6 people are of weight 55 to 60 kg. Further 60 to 65, 5 people are there. So, this is how we represent. Here 1 unit is of 1 person on vertical axis. You have already learnt how to construct histogram also. Here I am giving just a brief revision. Then moving further, a line graph displays data that changes continuously over period of time. So, let's take one example. When Renu fell sick, her doctor maintained a record of her body temperature taken every 4 hours. So, for every 4 hours her body temperature was recorded, and that was shown on a graph. It was in the form of a graph that I am giving. Now, try to read this graph, where time intervals are shown on horizontal axis, body temperature in degrees Celsius is shown on vertical axis. Kink is placed here so that 0 to 30 we are not showing. So, her body temperature minimum is 30 and it is above only we are taking it. So, at 6 am her body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, because 1 unit interval is 1 degree Celsius on vertical axis. And here if you observe 6 am, and after that I didn't write, a next interval becomes 10 am. That means 2 units are of 4 hours. 4 hours, that means 1 unit is 2 hours, isn't it? So, 6, 8 is missing 10, 12 is missing 2, 4 is missing 6. That means here 6 am, 10 am, 2 pm, 6 pm. Now, if you start reading this graph, we may call this graph as time temperature graph, because time is taken on horizontal axis, temperature is taken on vertical axis. So, this name of the graph can be called as time temperature graph. Then it is a pictorial representation of the following data given in tabular form. At 6 am 37 degrees Celsius, at 10 am 40 degrees Celsius, at 2 pm 38 degrees Celsius, further at 6 p.m. 35 degree Celsius. Now children, what does this all speaks about this graph? Let us take. So the horizontal line, which we normally call it as x-axis, shows the timings. X-axis shows the timing which are recorded, temperatures. Later, what are labeled on vertical axis, which we call y-axis. So on y-axis, temperatures are recorded, isn't it? Here on y-axis, temperatures are recorded. Now each piece of data is shown by a point. Could you observe? Each piece of data is shown by a point. Now if you observe, what does this point represents? At 6 a.m. 37 degree Celsius, isn't it? Children, if I start connecting these points, that is at 6 a.m. 37 degree, at 10 a.m. 40 degrees, at 12 p.m. 38 degrees Celsius, at 6 p.m. again 35 degrees Celsius. Now if I connect them with the help of a line unbrokenly, it becomes linear graph. So the points are then connected by line segments, results the line graph or linear graph. Now tell me, what all does this graph tell you? What all does this graph tell you apart from this? Now by reading this graph, I can tell or I can notice that the temperature increased by 3 degrees Celsius during the period from 6 to 10, that is 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. there is an increment of 3 degrees Celsius. I can say difference, 40 minus 37, 3 degrees Celsius is the increment, right? And there was no recording at 6 to 10, there is no recording at 8 a.m. correct now? But still, however, this graph suggests that the temperature will be not less than 37 degrees Celsius, children. Okay, this graph suggests that at 8 a.m. temperature may be more than 37 degrees Celsius only. Correct now? This graph suggests it now. So like these inferences we can make so many from this graph. Okay, so for example, I have already said you can see the pattern of temperature, more pattern of temperature and more at 10 a.m. and decreasing till 6 p.m. Notice the temperature increased by 3 degrees Celsius during the period from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and there was no recording of temperature at 8 a.m. However, the graph suggests that it was more than 37 degrees Celsius only. Now moving further, I am giving you one example called example number 1, a graph on performance. A graph on performance. What for this linear graph of performance is seen? Now watch this linear graph of performance first. Could you make something? Can you read this graph? Something dotted line representing batsman A. Unbroken line, continuous line talks about batsman B. And on vertical axis I have runs scored. On horizontal axis I have matches. That means I can say it is the performance of two batsmen, that is batsman A and batsman B, in the 10 matches. Based on the runs scored, we are going to do something. Now let me give you now question. The given graph represents the total runs scored by two batsmen A and B during each of the 10 different matches in the year 2007. Study the graph and answer the following questions. Okay, children, study the graph and answer the following questions. Question 1. What information is given on the two axes? What information is given on the two axes? I say on horizontal axis matches is given. Number of matches, 1 to 10 matches, or the number of matches is given, or match number is given. I can say on vertical axis runs scored is given. That is the question 1, and the answer will be on horizontal axis. It indicates the matches played during the year 2007, and the vertical axis shows the total runs scored in each match. Okay, total runs scored in each match is given on y-axis, on x-axis matches played in the year 2007. Second question, which line shows runs scored by A? Runs scored by A is shown by the dotted, isn't it? Dotted line. Dotted line. Dotted line shows the score of batsman A. Third question, were the runs scored by them same in any match in the year 2007? Yes, you could see here that. Yes. If so, in which match? Which match it is? It is match number 4. So match number 4. They scored same runs. How many runs that they scored? 60 runs. Both of them scored 60 runs. Correct now? Then next question. Among the two batsmen, who's steadier? Means consistent player. Okay, promising player. If you see, batsman A has scored 105 runs, but whereas rest of the times it is like a very low, 3 runs, 0 runs, 20 runs, 20 runs. It is very fluctuating. Correct na? Batsman A is very fluctuating, but whereas batsman B 60, 40, you could see that 50, 60, 45, 45, and very promising, and no chance of he scoring or just getting out. He is very consistent. So I say batsman B is very consistent or steadier. So I could recognize so much, I could analyze so much by this graph now. This is how the performance of this graph, when it is linear wise represented, we can recognize this sort of who is steadier, who is promising player. Okay, we can definitely make out some interpretations. So children, moving further, I am taking another important question. This question is example 2. Watch the graph. If you read the graph describes the distances that occur, distances of a car from a city P. So distance travelled by a car from city P at different times when it is travelling from city P to Q. Okay. So with respect to distance, with respect to city P, the distances of a car while travelling from P to Q, which are of 350 km apart, you could see. So at 8 AM car didn't start. At 9 AM it has travelled 50 kilometers. At 8 AM it has just started, and in 1 hour it has travelled 50 kilometers. In next 1 hour it has travelled 100 kilometers. next 1 hour it has travelled further 50 kilometers. In 1 hour it didn't travel, means it stayed, that means 11 to 12 rested in that place. From 12, within 2 hours it has reached city Q. So that means it has travelled 150 kilometers in that 2 hours. Now you have to answer based on this data following questions. What information is given on the 2 axis? We say in the 2 axis, when you observe, certainly the horizontal axis x shows the time and distances from P in kilometers is shown by y axis. Next, question 2, from where and when did the car begins its journey? It started from P, okay, the car started from the city P, okay, at 8 AM, correct? It started at 8 AM only, na? You could see by that graph. Next, how far did the car go in the first hour? I say 50 kilometers. It has travelled 50 kilometers. Then, fourth question, how far did the car go during the second hour and third hour? See, in second hour it has travelled, that is from 9 to 10, 100 kilometers, whereas in third hour, that is from 10 to 11, it has travelled only 50 kilometers, correct? Then next question, was the speed same during the first 3 hours? How do you know it? I say no, speed is not same. Why speed is not same? It is travelling 50, 100, again 50. Definitely speed in 9 to 10 was more, maybe the road was good, okay. So question number 5, from the answers of question 3rd and 4, we find that the speed of the car was not the same all the time, okay. In fact, the graph illustrates how the speed varied, correct? Next, did the car stop for some duration at any place? Justify your answer. I say yes, it was stable. So, from 11 to, that is from 11 AM to 12 noon, it was stable, okay. At 200 kilometers, you could see that steady graph, okay. We find the car was 200 kilometers away from the city P when the time was 11 AM and also at 12 noon. This shows that car did not travel during that interval 11 AM to 12 noon, okay children, because the line segment representing travel is parallel to horizontal axis, okay. Now we have last question number 7, when did the car reach city? So it has reached at 2 PM, correct? Why? Because exactly at 2 PM it has travelled 350 kilometers. So it has reached city Q at 2 PM. So this is how we do study these linear graphs. Children, in our next part 2, we will go for revising exercise 15.1. Okay. So till then, take care of yourself. Jai Hind. Thank you.